Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu and welcome to a CoH2 shoutcast on this nice foggy crossroads map between Pugnacious Penguin playing as the Germans and Dar Crow playing as the United Statesians. And, oh wait, I know this map. This isn't the special map. I've seen this map many times before. I'm streaming this live on Twitch TV. What Doth Life, who is in my chat, says that he likes this pack howitzer bulletin, so that's cool. It's not a bad one on this map, come to think of it, because with 5% increased range, instead of shooting here, you can pretty much shoot here, so that's a pretty big deal. I'm really having trouble picturing a scenario where 5% increased range matters. But, you know, I have a very bad imagination, so I'm not really the one you should ask. So I have some tea next to me. It's clearly not going to be cold enough to drink, so I don't even know why I just picked up that mug. But so the mugs I have two mugs of tea. They're both from the university I went to as an undergraduate. And they gave me a bunch when I graduated. It's from the philosophy department because I majored in philosophy, and they were just at the end of the year sort of party, whatever, for the graduating majors. They were like, does anyone want any hats or any mugs? We got a bunch of hats and a bunch of mugs. So I took a bunch of mugs. They're plastic, and over the years, this was, 6 years ago or something, I don't know. They haven't held up super. The one mug I used all the time eventually cracked. And so now I'm using two other mugs, and eventually I'll just be out of these mugs, I guess, because they're just not very well-made mugs. They're plastic, but I don't mind. And there goes those guys. What Duff Life says, check out the bulletin in customer cheat mode. 5% is pretty decent because it already has long range. I suppose that's true, but you know, the longer the range, the less accurate it is. I guess, do you think 5%... Do you think the 5% increased range makes it so that the cutoff point for the accuracy gets like better? So that like if you're shooting here without the 5% increased range bulletin, you'd be X amount inaccurate. But if you're shooting here from the same position with that 5% increased range, you'd be slightly less inaccurate? Or do you think it just sort of like adds extra space at the end that you can shoot? Because if it's the latter, I don't really care. If it's the former, I suppose that's pretty good. You get sort of a 5% less range penalty to your accuracy, and I guess that can matter. I don't know, it's all very confusing. So riflemen hopping into this building right quick, which you can do because they can't grenade you until you battle phase 1, so you don't have much to worry about from that. It's a very nice building, obviously. This is one of the crucial buildings on this map. Lotham says, man, I remember when my mug broke, I was on the verge of tears. So I actually have like 20 mugs. Many miscellaneous mugs in addition to these philosophy mugs that I got from graduating. I've just accumulated mugs. Like, I've accumulated most things over my life. I'm sort of a hoarder. Like that. I just don't like... These philosophy mugs have a larger capacity than a normal mug. And I like drinking lots of things, so I'm a fan of them. Brave Pioneers, so they can do damage if they get in close, but they really want to stop moving. Certainly running through the squad is not effective because you'll just get killed and you can't fire sideways or backwards. So that was just terrible for them. They just weren't being microed. But luckily for the German player, the United States player, although definitely microing those riflemen, oh man, hopping in and out to try not to get shot, but to keep them around so the mortar can get them. But definitely losing a lot of riflemen for the... What are these rear echelon troops doing? Spotting for the mortar, presumably, but then, Jesus. Whew. It's a good thing these Grenadiers had some sort of like horrific brain fart, or were trying to get out of the range of the mortar. I guess just really want this territory point. I really would have chased that rear echelon squad. Come on, man. Come on, man. And of course we have a US mortar, because that's this map. Why wouldn't we? Is my tea cold enough to drink yet? Let's find out. Oh god, no it's not. My mouth is not very tolerant of warm temperature. Oh, sniper. Almost got killed. My mouth is not very tolerant to warm temperatures. I don't really understand people who can eat hot foods, like, temperature-wise. I can eat spicy foods. I just fucking chowed out on Thai chilies for fun, but temperature-wise, it just doesn't make sense. How does camping in a building compare to regular heavy cover, says Darth Rona. I think it just gives you green cover. Or slightly better green cover. What Doth Life says, building is usually a lot better. Usually better than green cover? I'm pretty sure it depends on buildings. Like, often big buildings or stone buildings seem like they're better, but that might just be a psychological trick, a placebo effect. Often you'll see people in buildings get a little green cover badge, so that's why I'm assuming is green cover-esque stuff. So we have a quick tech to a captain. We skip lieutenant, gone straight up to the captain, going straight to the steward. The German player has stopped off at the sniper, and aside from that, we're teching up to also a tier 2 for the Germans, so presumably going to be a fast Panzer II. You might expect nice to see the sniper picking off the captain. Those are a bit more expensive to reinforce. Not really important to snipe in terms of fighting potential. The riflemen are the ones that are actually going to do some damage, I guess. The captain people, I guess, have Garand's. Do they have M1 carbines? Don't actually know. One of them, the captain himself, has the little pew 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 Tommy gun, so that's cool if you can get close, but I'm actually not sure if that's the captain himself with the Tommy gun. It's never been very clear to me. Nice little grenade to annoy that mortar. Hoping to decrew it, of course, but the decrew didn't happen. There's some talk and chat about exiting buildings. That's good. You ever want to learn about that? I think it was 3 or 4, maybe 5 shoutcasts ago on my channel. I have a good discussion of exiting buildings and getting hit by grenades or something. So, Darth Rodent, if you're interested in that, go to my YouTube channel, which you can find if you scroll down on my Twitch page, and watch all the shoutcasts. There's only like 100, so it shouldn't take you very long. But the Germans being really decidedly pushed off, even without the Stuart getting into the mix, just as a matter of the Germans pushed forward to force off that United States mortar, which, I mean, is good, right? You want to force the mortar off the field, but the thing is, when you push forward like that and you get spread out like that, man, they really need a medic bunker to talk about. Look at those health bars. When you get pushed forward like that and spread out like that, especially so close to the American base, everything in this map happens very close to the base if it's in the center. On the sides, it doesn't happen close to the base, but in the center, it does happen close to the base. And when you're so close to the base, it's just those riflemen keep showing up, they keep fighting, and eventually you get pushed off like this. And so that, plus the fact that the German map control wasn't great so far, means that the map is pretty much entirely in the hands of the Americans right now. So not looking great for the Germans. Does stop off for the Pack 40 having tech to tier 2, so we don't go straight to the tier 3 for the Panzer II. We stop it, or even the armored car. The armored car at this point would be not a great idea because the Stuart counter is that bad. But yeah, stops off for the AT gun here, so not a bad choice. With the Grenadiers, you have the Panzerfaust, so if you get a Panzerfaust in on the Stuart when it's in range of the Pack 40, no problems killing it, no problems. You can punch through real easy. So now the question just is, will the Germans spread out and try and capture parts of the map back, maybe get some map control? Are they going to sort of push forward in a concentrated assault? Right now it's a mix of both. The Pioneers not coming in the assault, but let's be honest, they're not so great at fighting. Everybody else staying very close in, for sensible reasons. You know the Stuart's going to try and pick off anybody who's on the edges, and that's exactly what it's doing to the Pioneers right now. So your only hope really is to cluster around the Pack 40 and do your best. Some tank traps going up. Interesting, for some green cover, I suppose, to be able to hold on to this position without having to be all the way behind these hay bales. Might be. Poor Sniper is going to get flanked by these riflemen if they decide to stop capping this cutoff point, which is frankly not very crucial, although once the German player gets his fuel back, it will be a bit more crucial. What is Twitch chat doing? Talking about how to control stuff. Sniper is a very rare sight these days. I thought the Oster Sniper was actually pretty popular. I read the meta-analysis of the 2 recent tournaments on CoH2.org, and it looks like the Oster Sniper, pretty popular little guy. The cat right now is trying to get into my closet. Cats just love trying to get into closets. You ever see that? So we have bars on these riflemen to try and stand up to the LMGs that are starting to show up on the Grenadiers. Really surprised to see the riflemen pushed off. I guess they were under assault by the MG42, so it was only a matter of time until they got suppressed. It means, though, that the mortar is going to have to move back a bit. It means that the captain is going to get himself reamed if he gets into this fight. I don't know why he's coming forward. I suppose the idea is just keep the enemy infantry in play for a while till the Sherman, or till the Stuart shows up. Maybe my tea is drinkable now? Let's find out.
We're losing a capture point.
No, still too hot. Why does water even get that hot? What legitimate purpose does that serve?
We have a lieutenant.
The world is for sure not intelligently designed. Get out of here, lieutenant. So we back-teched to a lieutenant. That's interesting, especially because you don't even get the bars I mean, you don't even need the lieutenant with the bar because your riflemen have the bars, so it's not like you need an infantry squad that shoots. So I don't know. What's the back tech to lieutenant for, guys? What do you think? Look at this. It's a half track.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being
Let's
captured.
take a look. So here's the lieutenant thing. It's maybe for the machine gun. The American player wants to build a machine gun. Look at these blobs. It's being kind of effective, but the thing is, as soon as the MG finds you, you just all get suppressed like that. So that's the thing. And even the half track's coming into play. Maybe the American player wants machine guns. Lothian says, "Well, there go all your evangelical followers." Yeah, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't really imagine an M20 or an AA half track coming out. I can't really see why you need the lieutenant in the first. I don't know why the back tech to lieutenant. Yeah, people in chat, if you think you know why you back tech to the lieutenant, tell me. What Doth Life says, the tournaments were just Devim steamrolling everyone. He's the few players who rocks the austere sniper, who would bet it no matter what when it dies. Well, there you go. Classic Devim, damn evil vicious mouse. Pack 40 being a boss, lieutenant trying to do his best. That's ugly. You never like to see that. It's an unnecessary loss, I feel like, of a steward. Just driving that shit in and getting itself AT gun. You have so much map control that there's no reason to be hyper aggressive like this as the Americans. You have not just the map control, but also this goddamn mortar that you can just shell your opponent with for the till the end of eternity. So there's no need to go crazy like that with your tank. Just use it to keep the opponent pinned in the base. When they try and get out on the left, send the tank on the left. When they try and get out on the right, you have all your infantry on the right, so who even cares if your tank is there? But instead, you drive it in and get it killed. What Doth Life says, Tycho's viewership is going to plummet without the voracious religious demographic. Let's be honest, my viewership is going to plummet no matter what. It's just a matter of time until people die of old age. Although, that's going to be a while, so it's maybe not super relevant to the discussion at hand. Ooh, nice chase from the Panzergrenz wipes out, I guess, a rifle squad. I thought it was the captain, but it wasn't the captain. What's going on here? Rear echelon's building a fighting position. You don't see that very often, folks. Fighting positions being known largely for their unappealing aesthetics. Just a fucking, basically a massive brown gaping asshole in the earth. So rarely built for that reason. And now we have a tech to tier 3, a major. Who died? Another rifleman squad died. How is the American player losing all these rifleman squads? God, Lord Almighty, this is just falling apart for the Americans. I mean, we have teched up to a major, so I suppose we have a Sherman coming soon or something. You can build a, yep, it's for sure a Sherman. For Sherman. Neither player has picked a doctrine, by the way. Pugnacious Penguin has these very sensible doctrines, and Dark Crow has some shit. And now the German, I mean, really, the German sitting high on the hog has not a ton of fuel and actually hasn't teched very far. Just poor German hasn't had much map control, but now's the time. They've grabbed this fuel point back, so this is the way back into the game. Just get some fuel, tech up, buy something cool, just hang in there, kill a Sherman. Somehow you've killed enough enemy infantry units that you can really start taking the map, and the German player has gotten that memo. We have a major artillery called in, looks like, but too little too late. It's for realsies, not for fakesies. You can't even do fakesies until you get that too. That's a good tip. Has that always been the case? I think it has. Icegarella says, question, is the 120mm Soviet mortar any good, or is it better to get the vanilla mortar? Answer. I was about to say it's good, and What Doth Life agrees. Good. 120mm is savage as fuck. Yeah, it's a pretty cool, big-ass mortar. Nice thing is that you obviously don't have to attack to the tier with the mortar if you get the doctrine where you can call in the mortar, so that's another nice thing, unless they changed that while I wasn't looking. So that's always good. We have the fighting position is getting upgraded with the 50 cal gun. So without that 50 cal upgrade, it can't do anything unless you put rear echelons inside the gaping asshole. Check out the cool decal there. Just a huge fucking brick face. And do we have HE rounds loaded? No, we have AP rounds loaded, which is a cool choice. It doesn't matter because it just kills 2 people. But so often you'll see players load some HE rounds in the thing. Number 1, to own the infantry up, and number 2, to give it a bit more power versus the AT gun, which is really your deadly foe at this point in the match. Major getting sniped to hell by the snipers up to Vet 2. Cool. But the AP is a good defense against any enemy vehicles you don't know about. I guess it's even better versus the half-track, although to be fair, the HE shell also owns the half-track. Narfwex says, Om Nom, feed me Nazi blood. Good call. Someone says too light. What Doth Life says too light. What is too light? Can I drink my tea yet? Poor Mortar getting pushed off by those Panzergrens, who are just way, way deep in enemy lines. Oh look, it's a forward retreat point by the thingy, but it's not activated? It cancel retreat. It must have been activated after the Mortar retreat, so it's brand new. My tea is almost drinkable. Why did I take another sip? It's not actually drinkable. Do we have HE shells loaded? Yeah, that seemed like a big poof. And yes, we have HE shells loaded, but we also have 2 Pack 40s, and so I barely even got time to talk about the HE shells before the Pack 40s just went like Rambo on that Sherman, and that's the end. What Death Life says Melon mean I don't even know what's going on in Twitch chat, so let's ignore it. Oof, I am actually hungry. I shouldn't have just fed the cats. I should have fed myself. Man, yeah, American player just feels and quits. Literally just quits. That, I think, was premature. You could have bought another Sherman and what, 3 fuel is what? It's 110 fuel, isn't it? Yeah, 3 fuel. Yeah, that's definitely premature. I think American player rage quitting for no reason over throwing your vehicle away for no reason. So the lesson here, folks, is that if you have the lead like this, chill out. Don't drive in and get yourself killed. That's definitely the takeaway.